Tonight I have an inspiring woman as my very special guest. Welcome to the set, Genea Stark. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, Deborah.
Oh, it's so thrilling. You are just such a kind person. I do want to tell about my first experience meeting you.
Okay, absolutely.
And I met you for a brief period before this, but actually we worked for the same company.
Yes.
And what I was the most impressed with was that you have that light about you that really shines and wants to involve other people.
Absolutely.
And at our meeting, there were certain cliques, as there are with some companies, and you were just the light that brought people together. And she's kind of like the popular girl that doesn't have to like invite people into her little club, but you did. And from that moment, I knew I was just totally in love with you because you care about other people.
I do. And I think that when I'm in a place or an environment and I'm just, like at the sales meeting that we were at, I was just ready to meet new people and like you said, really include everyone, but then also I'm connected or attracted to people that have this similar, personality like I do, like you,
Right.
bubbly and, just kind of you exude that excitement and positivity as well. So I knew that right off the bat that we would be close as far as with work and in the meeting and everything. And so then I'm always about too, we have a team of 8
Right.
in our territory. So to make sure that everyone is together, that we're involving everyone and sitting together and really having a cohesive group. So that's really important because
In
we're,
life.
we're not all the same.
And we're not, even with our neighbors and even with people that maybe you don't feel are exactly like you. That's what's amazing. Like it's the melting
Yes.
pot of people that that are different. But also what I love about you is that you're like, maybe our mission is to include those people and show them what the light is really supposed to be
Exactly. I am a firm believer that God puts people in your path for a reason.
Right.
And I'm like, oh gosh, I just met Deborah. There is something that we can get from each other and or be able to like feed off of each other.
Right.
And maybe there's something that I've gone through that I can help you with. Maybe there's something that you've gone through that that you can help me with. So we help each other, and I think that that's great. When I think about my faith, I always look at that, and I want to always be that person that helps other people.
Absolutely.
Because when we help other people,
we lift each other up.
we lift each other up, and we ultimately make our goals by helping
Right.
other people make their goals.
Amen, sister. And one of the other reasons I wanted to invite you tonight is because we do have similar paths, and something that's very important to our audience members out there and to a lot of friends that are in my life is aging parents and how
Yes.
difficult it is, whether you have aging parents, the loss of a parent and one parent's left behind. It is just one of those things that we're all going to experience.
Exactly.
And it's challenging because the parent still has such a massive amount of independence. And you then turn into the caregiver, almost like
Yes.
they're the child and you're the parent.
And it is something, it's hard to even prepare for it. I know my mother passed 3 years ago. And the first time that happened, and even though we knew, of course, eventually we know we all are going to pass.
Right.
But then when it happened, you're like, wow. And a lot happened during that journey for me, and I just had to keep turning to my faith. I'm a firm believer with have your faith, family, and your friends.
Right.
Gotta
Amen.
have our friends, and our family is there to help support us as well. And I think that I just prayed a lot. I wake up praying, I go to bed praying, and I just have to give it to God because I can't do it all. And now my dad, he's older. He has some dementia. He's forgetting, and I love him. I spend every Wednesday with him. We have breakfast together.
She takes him a biscuit every morning.
Yes, sausage, egg, and cheese, and
Yes.
sweet tea in the
And
South.
sweet tea.
He loves his sweet tea.
Right.
But I enjoy that time that I have with him. And he's like, he knows I come every Wednesday, but then he'll forget, oh, you're here today. What day is it? And he doesn't remember what day it is. But I'll say, remember, I come on Wednesdays, unless I tell you otherwise.
And
I
I
come on
think
Wednesdays.
the really important thing is to allow them to keep their independence.
Yes,
Not
it's
to make
so
them feel
important.
like they're a burden.
Exactly.
Or because you know what, they gave so much of their lives to us. And some people do put their family in homes before they're even at that point because they don't want to be bothered with it.
Yes. Well, and it's so important to not take them out of their current environment, because I think right now if taking my father out of his current environment would be worse, unless we absolutely had to.
Unless you have to. And
he
there are some
likes-
situations where you
yes.
do.
And so he, he still, he still has his truck, but he did have an accident back in the winter, so we're kind of cautious with that.
Right.
But, he's still, he gets up and he has his coffee in the morning and his little routine. So he's
right, and it's
he
important
keeps
to have
that.
the routine.
It is.
And
it
I
is.
just really wanted to invite you because there are so many members of our audience out there that are dealing with the same path that we're going through with our
Yes.
age. And it's just, there is no journey that gets you ready for this. There's no book that you can read. You can read them, but every journey's different. My dad's 84 and my mom passed and they were best friends. But you still want to be there for each other as friends.
Yes.
But you also want to be there for the aging parent to make them feel like they matter, because they do.
matter and they belong, and that
And
you
they
still
belong.
love them, and that they're not a hindrance. And I think that when you're there, when I'm there with my dad on Wednesdays, he'll sit there and we'll talk about having a garden and growing up with a garden, and I would like walk behind him and we say the good old days, the good old
Right.
days of nobody who has a garden today. I mean,
Right.
my
My dad has a garden.
I love it. We should.
Yes, he
I
does.
love. There's nothing like garden food, and we'll
Right.
talk about that. And then on Friday nights, we used to go to the water horses together, and that's a memory. So I love horses. I love the garden. No one has that in
Right.
this day and time.
And I
But
do want to say this: they forget that they tell you the same story
that is true. They will
and
say it
over
and over.
and over and
But
over.
that's okay.
Same story.
But that's
Yeah.
okay,
That's
'cause
okay because
I-
that's it. We're going to do that too.
Well, and I love that. I mean,
Right.
I'll listen to him, and then he'll say, I'm forgetful. I might not have said, and I'm like, I'm forgetful too, Dad, and
Right.
and he'll just kind of just share it with me. Then sometimes he might realize that he did say it a second time.
Right.
But I just let him do it. Let him tell his story,
Right.
and he reminisces about the good old days and the church songs, going to church, and things we did growing up, and I just let him have
So
that.
good memories.
And we take
Right.
selfies and Snapchats,
Right.
and he just
So you make him feel young again.
yes, he has a
Well,
great time.
It's just amazing that that you can share your light with other people, and that's why
Oh,
I just
yes.
really wanted to invite you tonight, because I do think that you're an inspiration to women of
Thank
how
you.
you live your life. You are just a guiding light. So not only the aging parent, but the befriending people and just being a kind person. And I think what you give in life is what you get back. So Genea Stark, you're an amazing guest. Thank you for stopping by the set
You're
tonight.
wonderful.
And
Thanks
I
for
know,
having me.
I know that she is going to inspire other women out there, because it really is, the message is about really giving back, because it is true, what you give in life is what you get back. So
Yes.
give a lot.